Philippines is one of the three remaining countries in the world with 10-year basic education curriculum took the leap in the year 2013 as K-12 was passed into law. RA 10533 marks the beginning of these additional years of struggles and strings of hope for students, parents, teachers, stakeholders, and Department of Education in general.
K-12 promises reform and changes, but as future educators and pioneers of this curriculum, how do we find K-12? Is it good or bad? Is it successful or not? Breaking down K-12 curriculum into different phases of curriculum development shed light to our quest for answers whether to accept or reject this curriculum. As soon-to-be teachers, we get each other's view through raising questions to help us assess K-12, and here's what we can say. From your experiences, what are the major challenges in K-12 and how did DepEd overcome it?
On the first years of the K-12 implementation, we felt like we're being experimented, and teachers could even feel the same way. Based on the article written by the Philippine Inquirer entitled Parents to DepEd Don't Experiment with Their Kids, since parents call for the suspension of the K-12 program since they think that their children were just tools for the experiment, and they call DepEd as ill-prepared. There is a trial and error in the modules or the so-called excerpt being designed by the DepEd and used as instructional materials by the teachers. The curriculum guide has been revised as well. Take for example the Kielah Panaligan. It has 2013 and 2016 version because during our time we have Philippine history as our AP subject in grade 7 and didn't have contemporary issues. In the present, however, Asian studies are taken in grade 7 with contemporary issues in grade 10 and Philippine history has been dissolved. This example proves that there are some gaps or failures in the beginning of the planning, implementing, and designing of the stages of the K-12. Hence, modification has been made in the recent years. Another challenge, I think, is the lack of school facilities and teachers, especially in senior high school. As based on the news written by the GMA News Online, there is lack of facilities still hound the implementation of the K-12. And another article written by Bulalat saying more shortages of illicit public school system despite DepEd claims. With regards to the teacher, there is a rush training during the implementation of the K-12. These are the mostly clamors of the opposition with regards to the K-12. It's so fast that even teachers and students were not yet prepared for the additional years. However, as the years went by, the needs for classroom and teachers have been addressed.
What do you like most about K-12?
On the brighter side, K-12 promotes easy understanding as it breaks down the grading system into KPUP format. Gone were the days where students are only content smart or labeled as bookish. This time, they are well-rounded, being able to know, process, understand, and produce something out of the concepts being taught to them. With this, higher level of Bloom's taxonomy of learning objectives have been tapped. Further, mother tongue-based multilingual education, or MTB, MLE, and outcome-based education have been injected, which shifted educational approach from the traditional way. If I were to review the contents, they are aligned with the learning objectives, and most of all, it is student-centered as it caters different students' needs and interests. Though the common feedback about K-12 is that it is lengthy and the contents are repetitive, yes it is, as it follows the spiral approach, but if we come to look at it on the positive side, this repetition of classes aims for mastery of learning. Through mastery of knowledge and skills, students are prepared to become globally competitive since K-12 is patterned to the international standards.
Will the K-12 walk through students into its 4 key exits?
The additional 2 years spent in senior high gives students a freedom to choose what track and strand to pursue based on their interests. Thus, K-12 curriculum fosters learner-centeredness. In each track and strand, schools partnered with different stakeholders, having a memorandum of agreement as a legal document to seal their partnership as they work together to plan, design, and provide an environment where students will be immersed and exposed into their future workplace or prepare them for college, middle skills development, or into the world of entrepreneurship. This addendum in our curriculum arms students with experiential learning as they manipulate and perform hands-on activities, making them ready and competitive as they step on the threshold of their respective schools. K-12 is somewhat successful on this component. However, there are some instances wherein the work immersion is not closely related to the type of strand that students chose because of limited resources and linkages of the school. As a result, students need to spend time for bridging classes in college or pursue another career different from what they have taken in senior high school. This is the weakness of the K-12 curriculum because it is costly for parents.
If given a chance to modify any components in the curriculum, what is it and why?
Changes. I think changes could be made on the implementation stage, specifically in strategies and resources. Teachers, as key drivers of the implementation process, must allot more time on enhancing skills and integration of different educational technologies and ICT tools in classroom delivery. In this matter, teachers have to undergo a series of trainings for up-to-date teaching, especially those who are teaching practical research, and increase flexibility, especially now that we're under the pandemic. Less demands and shortening the duration of classes are highly recommended also. This is a response to high dropout rates, which K-12 is blamed for, and diminishing students' interest due to heavy student workloads.
Now, you have heard the feedbacks with regards to K-12. For us, here is our judgment. K-12 is good and is highly accepted. Was it successful? For some parts, it is, but for its benefits to be fully realized and appreciated by everyone, all the aforementioned obstacles and hurdles have to be overcome along with the implementation process. 2 to 3 years from now, we will see if K-12 has met its target. Together, let us not be tired of working as we patiently wait for that day to come. Thank you.
This is Finlac, well known for producing top-ranked students across different fields. In young age, learners were able to discover potentials and realize roles in contributing for their country. And this is Singapore, Asia's leading country in education. The system is believed to be the factor for the country's fast development over years. What's with these countries that they keep on growing fast? And what is in us that makes it hard to realize? This is one of the worst phases of the Philippines. Instead of the child going to school and learning, they are being seen on label sites, doing adult matters, and looking forward to earn money. The situation is directly anchored to poverty, where families striving for survival had no choice but to let go of education and face the reality, bringing the realization that a child is the hope of the fatherland and seeing education as a gateway in escaping poverty, K-12 curriculum was born. K-12 program is a new education system under the Department of Education. It covers kindergarten, 12 years of basic education program, and 2 years of senior high school. It aims to bring Philippine education to the next level. In senior high school, students could choose any track of their choice, and each track has its own specific strengths. Students' choices may vary according to their field of interest or where they excel the most. More so, each choices gives them different results, like preparing for college, for putting up a business, and for finding a job. From a pioneer's perspective, K-12 curriculum underwent a lot of challenges before it was found effective. The transition from time to time have allowed development to take place, thus bringing the program to its better phase. To evaluate, K-12 program moved everything in place. The curriculum features timeliness that prioritizes everything that is needed in the society nowadays. Therefore, what is being provided for learners are all assured to be relevant and suitable for the current situation. Moreover, the program deals with addressing the top issues of the society. It is being reflected in putting emphasis to a student-centered classroom, as K-12 believes that the experiences of learners which they manage on their own had a great impact on how they could apply things on reality. In short, K-12 curriculum served as a training ground for learners in facing the real world. The success of this curriculum is not yet being realized, but for us to be able to see where it is leading, let us make ourselves informed that it took long years of planning, preparing, and checking before it was actually put in place in 2013. As the curriculum aims to make everyone globally competitive, the planning and preparing process revolved around providing learners with skills and knowledge that would allow them to compete effectively. And today, after years of its implementation, K-12 curriculum have seemed to bring a great impact to the society, thus proving that what has been prepared was really realized. However, it is undeniable that in the midst of its implementation, there had been several issues being faced. But these were all used to improve and revise the curriculum, making it more appropriate and effective. In fact, non-stop trainings are provided for teachers as they hold a key responsibility in making everyone realize the purpose of modifying the education system in our society. This enabled them to make the curriculum even more truthful to its promise of providing everyone with their needs.